Hi, I'm Kriss, and I'll be presenting a podcast about transformative leadership in education. This form of leadership involves many key components and some drawbacks, but overall it has a positive effect on education environments. Transformative leadership comes from all aspects of this environment rather than transactional leadership, which comes directly from principle as the instigator of change. So why is it used? Transformative leadership is more than just a top-down transition period in any setting. In education, it encourages an all-encompassing change in administration, teaching, and learning. In this podcast, we will look at the various definitions, relevant case studies, some important assessment of the leadership model, and recommendations for enabling these processes. Following this will be a personal reflection that looks at why I chose this leadership strategy and what interested me into choosing it. So moving on to the next slide. The key ideas for transformative leadership integrate a style that involves inspiring and motivating followers to grow, make organizational change, and share vision through four key parameters. 1. Idealize influence. To be a strong role model, pardon my words, be a hard worker, ethical, and emphasize a common mission for your peers. Inspirational motivation. This includes a shared vision, some inspiring stories, and commitment and performance throughout your role. Intellectual stimulation, which produces creative and autonomous solutions. So trying new methods and have a tolerance for mistakes. And these can include calculated risks. And number 4, individualized consideration. So coaching and helping, listening to needs, providing explicit guidance for others while letting others work it out for themselves with the additional provided resources that you give them. Okay, next slide. So there's not much conjecture on the key definitions of this style of leadership. Mulati and their colleagues emphasize its focus on inspiring and motivating teachers to achieve their full potential and self-efficacy through support and visionary guidance, while Gumash and their peers, in a systematic review of studies of leadership models in educational research from 1980 to 2014, discussed similar points. They outline transformative leadership aims to inspire and guide educators to provide teaching and learning outcomes through collaborative and supportive environments. So they refer to more of the collaborative features of transformative leadership in their definition, while Molati 2022 discuss more of the supportive and visionary top-down approach. So an example of transformational leadership has been proven remarkably successful across a range of scenarios. So Molati looks at the effectiveness of transformational leadership, competency, and self-efficacy on teacher performance in elementary schools across India. These three factors concluded their hypothesis effect on teachers' performance, which could be achieved through high achievement motivation, individual participation, while also playing an active role in collaboration and continually improving performance. Our next example, Gamash et al. Analyzes studies on leadership models in educational research conducted between 1980 and 2014. The paper examines the evolution of transformational leadership and other styles over the years, highlighting key trends and themes. It highlights several educational contexts where these leadership models have been effectively implemented. Included in the study were K-12 schools and higher education institutions. This highlighted some case studies that demonstrate the positive impact on school climate and student achievement. So some of the strengths, as you can see on the board, there's multiple strengths, and as I've discussed earlier, on transformative leadership. These are highlighted in the mentioned examples, obviously. The clear advantages are overarching strategic change, which could be academic, it could be behavior, it could be community, or other focus that's in mind for the school. They want to improve their grades, they're going to go the academic route. They want to improve their community outreach, they're going to go with their AGEC or some other community bridging organization. So it also results in increased teacher motivation and improved student performance, which was common in all the studied scenarios. So some key limitations of this leadership style is consistency, inertia, and the need for ongoing development. So like any institution or business, there will always be some resistance to change. This is what we call inertia. In March 2019, they referred to critics of transformational leadership as it should be changed to more of a charismatic leadership. This is a kind of a lesser point. It's not as important as the key limitations that's been identified. So it's just more of a identifier for the type of leadership that we're looking at here. So some of the barriers to transformational leadership, we've got, as we mentioned before, which were related to limitations. We've got inertia, intense effort and persistence, and refusal to collaborate. So if we're looking at here, a study that concluded that the principal's attitude and instruction from the top positively influence schools and education settings. This could be stepped out to other leaders with these settings so that the large strategic changes are reinforced. So this can help overcome inertia, which is paramount for transformational change. This could be overcome with versatility and variability, which I've actually kind of got in the next slide. Fostering collaboration and staff involvement at all levels. This will improve teacher capacity and self-efficacy so that they can instigate change rather than be subject to it. So if I go back to barriers, in Morliti, the need for high achievement motivation is clear when introducing and implementing this model. These studies did not discuss suitability of transformational leadership over others, so it didn't discuss whether this is better than the others or worse. It just stated what they were talking about. But yeah, that's back to recommendations and how we can improve it. Now, to reflect on this leadership style, I found resources outside the normative literature to be interesting and engaging. Simon Sinek and his Why, How, What philosophy provide an interesting perspective on leadership. This can be reinforced in transformative leadership, by adopting the Why principle and other educational, by adopting the Why principle, the school principal and other educational leaders can promote their ideas better on an emotional level. Merely adopting the how or the what is less engaging. If you tell them why you're doing something, then you're going to get more response out of the students and out of teaching staff. So that's just from a YouTube clip that I found. And when reading the literature, I also found it inspiring. When or if elevated to a higher position within education, I would take on what I learnt throughout studying this style of leadership. This model seems like a significant effort and application, but I think it'd be worth the endeavor. And there's my references. Thank you.